Hello and welcome back to another episode of Cruising Maya. If you don't know us, we're Mac and Jenny, and together with our dog Disco, we've been documenting our lives and travels aboard our sailboat Maya. So far, we've explored Washington, British Columbia, and Alaska, and in the last 7 videos, we've sailed down the U.S. West Coast from Washington to Southern California. It's been a huge challenge and a wild ride, and this video will close out that voyage. In this episode, you'll see us navigate the confusing rules and regulations of a densely populated Southern California. We also make some final repairs and preparations for us to go south of the border. All that and more in this episode. So picking back up where we left off in the last video, we had just arrived in Ventura in order to wait out an approaching storm. And I will tell you, after dealing with a bunch of swelly nights at anchor, it was really great to have a rest in a marina. We ended up staying there for 2 nights before the weather window opened up and we can continue south. Okay, so we are leaving Ventura, California right now. About 6:30 in the morning. We've got a long day. We're headed to Long Beach, LA. Should take about 13 or so hours. There's a huge amount of swell out there from the storm. We can hear it. So the exit out of the marina area through the breakwater might be a little spicy, but we should be okay. We'll see how this goes. Alright, so we made it through the most treacherous part. We're out here in the swell now, but at least we're past like the breaking waves, which is really the biggest concern. Oh, that's a big one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Whoa.
Wow, big swell.
Yeah. So yeah, onwards to Long Beach, California.
About 2 feet from the boat. So Mac is up on the bow with a flashlight, making sure we don't come across any more of those, because that would be terrible to get tangled up with that out here, especially now that it's night, the sun's just set. swell. It was really roly-poly out here. But yeah, very much looking forward to being anchored.
So LA Harbor was an interesting experience and our first glimpse into the craziness of Southern California. So in order for us to drop anchor in this bay, we had to first call the Harbor Patrol and request to stay the night. Harbor Patrol boat then came alongside us and checked our paperwork and IDs. And while they were friendly, they were definitely all business. I wouldn't recommend staying there if you can avoid it. Early the next morning, we hoisted the anchor and made our way to Alamitos Bay Marina. Our time in Alamitos was well spent. We finally had In-N-Out Burger for the first time, and we collaborated with Tiny Home Tours, where we showcased Maya.
Because you can, close everything up, and when you're heeled over from side to side on a boat.
There's a link to that video above. After a quick couple days in the marina, we made the 76-mile jump to Mariners Basin in Mission Bay.
Okay, we're in San Diego in Mission Bay, and I'm getting ready to fly out to work for a few days. So with the way we make it work with sailing is we kind of work here and there when we can, and yeah, so this is one of those times where I'm going to fly out for a few days and yeah, do some work. Mac's gonna hold down the fort here in Mission Bay in San Diego while I'm gone. You gonna party while I'm gone?
Yeah, me and Disco. Be doing boat work and YouTube videos. There goes Jenny.
I'm back in the hometown, Anacortes. Had to run our favorite route after work. Yeah, it's nice to be back in Anacortes, see the leaves changing. Definitely cooler here. Big change from San Diego. But yeah, spend a few days here and then head back to the boat. That's crazy that what took us 2 months in the sailboat, I did in 2 hours yesterday getting here. But I feel very fortunate to be able to take our time going down the coast, taking the slow and scenic route. It's the best way.
Okay, so we've got some issues today with the engine. Went to turn it on to charge the batteries up a little bit. We're at like 9%. And the engine turns over, but it doesn't stay on. So that's a problem. So it'll turn on, but it doesn't stay on. So I don't think it's electrical. I think it's something to do with the diesel. So we're going to go track this down and see what we can do. So in all the excitement of fixing the engine, I forgot to record what I did. So it turns out that we had a little air leak in our diesel fuel line. The engine had sat for a few days without being used and had allowed some air in. All I had to do was pump the little manual fuel pump on the side and bam, we were back in business. Just goes to show you how a little bit of air in the diesel line will cripple an engine. It was a good thing I got the engine working again because you can only stay in Mariners Basin for 3 nights. I didn't have to get a permit or anything, but Harbor Patrol politely reminded me on the 3rd night that I needed to go the next day. All right, so I'm coming into San Diego Harbor here, and I've got a proper escort. Helicopter and a giant warship. Thanks for the escort, guys. Glad he cleared the mast. So we were going to be in San Diego for close to 2 weeks, and wanting to save some money, we opted to anchor out. Now that's easier said than done. In a densely populated area like this, there are a bunch of restrictions for anchoring, which I'll touch on now. So in order to stay in the bay on anchor, you need a permit which grants you 30 days anchorage, renewable up to 90. The only way to get a permit is in person at the Shelter Island police dock. I would check their website before you show up though. The designated anchorage is pretty small and only 20 permits are available. We literally got the last permit they had. So the first step is showing up to the Shelter Island police dock, and there they'll look at all your documents and confirm that you are a cruising boat just passing through and not taking up residency. After reviewing paperwork, officers will come aboard and do a check of safety equipment like fire extinguishers, life jackets, radio, etc. And they even inspected the bilge. After all the checks are passed, they issue a permit, and I don't think there's any getting around that. The harbor police closely monitor the anchorage, so I wouldn't try to sneak around it. And speaking of the anchorage, while I am very grateful that it is a free option, it might be the busiest and loudest anchorage we've ever been to. First off, we are right next to the San Diego airport, as well as a major Coast Guard base. And on the other side of the bay is a huge military base with aircraft and ships constantly passing through.
That's an aircraft carrier rolling past the anchorage.
My ride from the airport.
Okay, so now at this point, it's when I would love to show you how we replaced the gimbal on our radar mount. The hydraulic dampener blew out, which caused the radar to swing wildly, and that motion actually caused the radar mount to come crashing down as we were coming into San Francisco. Unfortunately, I don't have any footage of that repair because future me dropped the GoPro in the ocean to be lost and gone forever. So yeah, super unfortunate about that, as that was an interesting project and wanted to share. But anyways, we successfully made that repair with enough time to explore San Diego a little bit.
Oh, it's coming right over us.
Wow. Hope no one called him on us.
Ooh, you can feel it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow.
My hat's gonna fly away.
Yeah. The wind coming off this thing is crazy. Here we go. See you later.
All right, we're just leaving San Diego. It looks super late, but it's only like 6 p.m. It's just that time of year. Yeah, and we are finally headed to Mexico. Woo-hoo-hoo! Yeah!
We're doing it.
Yes!
Next stop, Mexico.
Woo!
All right, so with us departing San Diego and bound for Mexico, we are officially closing out this series on sailing the U.S. West Coast. If you watched from the beginning of the trip, we just want to say thank you so much. The West Coast was a huge challenge for us, but we couldn't be any more excited to bring the boat into Mexico. In the following videos, you'll see us spend a winter sailing Pacific Mexico, so stay tuned for that. Also, before we go, we want to remind you we have a website at cruisingmaya.com. There we have a lot more information about the boat. We also have a merchandise store, which we are constantly adding to. And we have a Gear We Love page. By clicking any of the links on that page and purchasing any item on Amazon, we get a small commission at no extra cost to you. We are starting to see people do that, and it's a huge help to us, so thank you so much. Last but not least, we have joined the ranks of Patreon. If you would like to help support the making of these videos, cruise over there and consider pledging. Any and all support is appreciated. Okay, so that's going to do it for this episode. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you here next time. Cheers.
How you got this hooked up?
I got a little battery right there. Zero. It's actually really nice.